A very, very good afternoon, boys and girls, and most of all, welcome to your game drive. This is Sydney Afumunani Mikosi, and I'm traveling with Senzo, who is my camera operator this afternoon. Hopefully, we are going to try by all means and get you a lot of interesting animals. And for in case if you need our attention, you can ask your parents in order to send us questions and comments on netjokids@wildearth.tv. I am going to be looking for some spotted cats, specifically the leopards this afternoon. So the bush is looking very nice and green. And when the bush is like this, sometimes I know it can be difficult to see the spotted animals as they can easily hide. So I'm going to have to be very, very much observant this afternoon. So I am not going to leave any stone unturned. I will be looking everywhere in these bushes. So, but now, while I'm heading towards this eastern direction of the game reserve, I want you to meet Trish, who is ready to show you something interesting.
Good afternoon, boys and girls. How are you today? I am so glad to be taking you on safari, and look what I've found for you. I'm just trying to get a nice view of him. Oh no, boy, why are you walking in the opposite direction? We have a lovely African elephant for you. So we're going to try and get a nice view of him. And my name is Trishala. I'm coming to you from the same place as Sydney was, right here in Djuma in South Africa. Oh, he's walking away from us. Let's try and get around him quickly. He's trying to avoid us, but maybe we'll see him through there. Do you think we can? Oh, we have a wagging tail of our big, mighty elephant here. Elephants are the biggest land mammal that we have. Well, that exists, actually. They're huge. And when you get up close and personal with them, you'll see just how big they are. Well, I'm going to maybe see if I can get a better view of this guy. But in the meantime, let's go to Isaac, who definitely has a better view than I do.
Like for a better elephant view, live.
Yes, from elephants to more elephants, and actually they are very big animals. Good afternoon, and welcome to this afternoon game drive. It's a great pleasure to have you on this afternoon game drive, and here I have a very big herd of elephants, and they are enjoying the afternoon grazing around. There are very many of them, and looks like they're heading into one direction. I don't know exactly where they are headed, but looks like they have a mission. This is a herd of elephants. We call them a breeding herd. Good afternoon. My name is Isaac. And on camera, I've got Jay and Ray, and welcome to this afternoon game drive. It is raining in the Mara, surprisingly. It's not the rainy season, but for some reason, we're getting these localized rains. But it is not as cold. It is around 29 degrees Celsius at about 80 Fahrenheit. I don't know how cold or hot where you are, but here it is raining, but the temperatures are very, very comfortable. These elephants are the only ones found in Kenya. Called the African elephant. They are very big. They are the biggest actually over here and actually all over Africa. Females can weigh up to around 4 tons, which is around 8,000 pounds. Very, very heavy. Everything about elephants is big, apart from their eyes. They have big ears, big tusks, big legs, big lungs, big stomach. Everything about elephants is big. Big tail, as like you can see, even in size. What they eat is big, big babies. So it's a very big animal, and that's why they call it the king of the jungle. And here is one big happy family. There is a very tiny little one. You see it over there? That is a few days old. Yeah, it's only a few days old. Could be maybe 2 or 3 days old. I don't know where it disappeared to. The grass is actually even taller than the little guy. I can hardly see it. It's well hidden in the long grass. But yeah, it's somewhere there. We might get to see it again. It is raining over here. Can you see the rain? Can you hear it? Remember to ask me any questions through your parents on Not Your Kids. Not Your Kids. It is very damp. Sorry, I was just about to finish. Remember to ask me any questions on Not Your at wildearth.tv. You can ask me questions through your parents on that email. Ask as many as you can about these huge animals, about this great place, and I'll be very pleased to answer them and teach you 1 or 2 things that I know about these huge animals that we get here in Kenya. Looks like they are very, very busy. Elephants eat up to around, a fifth of their weight every day, which is around 250 kilos. I don't know how you measure your weight where you are, but it's around 500 pounds in each day. And the main reason is that they have a very poor digestive system. Only around 40 of everything they eat, 40% is digested. Takes about 4 days for everything to go through their tummy. So you can imagine how long their intestines are. They could be almost a mile away. Sorry, we're under the rain, and I can see they've gone behind there. So I might have to turn the vehicle a little bit. Yes, while I do this, let me send you to my colleague David.
Hello boys and girls of Nat Geo, and welcome to my vehicle. I'm in a different part of the Mara from where Isaac is. The Mara Triangle is a very huge game reserve, so Isaac is on that one end and I am on the other end. My name is David, and with me on camera is Archie. Archie, how are you? And Archie goes like this, which means he is very excited for you because we might be looking for something very special for you. I'm sure Isaac and Sydney already told you questions should you have as we show you how our sky looks like. Comment natyourkids@wildearth.tv. You may request your parents and your guardians to do that using that email address. Now, the only thing we need to show you now to start with is just that view, and you tell me what you see at the horizon or what Isaac was talking about a few seconds ago, and see the difference of the Mara and Juma, where Sydney is and where me and Isaac are 2 very different habitats. A habitat is an area where an animal lives. Now, those elephants you see there, can you believe they're about, a mile away from where we are? 1 mile away. But Archie got a wonderful camera. That's why he gave you that sign of greeting. And this is what we call a savanna. An open area like this with the grasslands and scattered trees here and there. All right. My plan, possibly, if we can, is to get you some cuts of some sort, be it a cheetah, be it a leopard, be it a lion. The thing is, cross fingers, and I'm sure my friend Sydney likes saying, once you come here to the bush, always expect the unexpected. So you'll be driving like this, and the road is straight and there's nothing, and the next thing you'll be seeing some interesting animal crossing the road. So that's exactly what we shall be doing. The area I am in, the grass is very high, so I have to keep stopping every few minutes just to look over the grass, see possibly if I could see a cat flicking its tail as just walking through the grass. Very good. Big animals are not difficult to see, like elephants or buffaloes, but the small animals, like the cats, we have to look at. So let me take you back to my friend Sydney in South Africa and see how he is doing.
That is true indeed, David. We have to always expect unexpected. But this afternoon, hopefully, I will get what I'm expecting. So this afternoon, I'm expecting Talamba. So Talamba is one of those very beautiful cats. And where I am, I have not yet picked up any fresh tracks of Talamba, but I know she is in this area. So this is a possible area for Talamba. Looking at the bush overgrowing at the moment, as I indicated earlier, is one of those things which makes it difficult sometimes to spot these kind of cats. But hopefully, we will find her around here. So the vegetation here where I am is completely different from where David is at the moment. Joy, the $1 million smile is back. I miss you too. So here where I'm driving, the only smell I am picking up here is for the hippopotamus. So the hippopotamus, normally when they are walking around here, oh, we have got a herd of elephants right in front of us. I was still telling you about the strong smell left behind by the hippopotamus. So when they are feeding here, they do sometimes leave behind a very distinctive smell. So we are not very far away from the nearest waterhole. Here, now at the moment, we have got the largest land mammal. Look at that. So it's quite a very small herd of the elephants at the moment. So I can only see a few. Oh, there's some on the other side of the road. Maybe it's more than what I'm seeing here. I can hear some other noises around here. So you can see there's also a small baby there. So that baby is under the guidance of the mother. So the mother has to help the little ones a lot. And these little ones are going to remain with this big head until they get up to 16, 18 years. So now let's quickly cross over to the Masai Mara, where my other friend Isaac is out at the moment.
Yes, looks like it's elephants, elephants, elephants everywhere. And here it's the little guy. I was telling you we could see him, and he's nursing. He has been drinking for the last 3 minutes. Looks like he was very thirsty, but the mom seems not to have lots of milk because he's moving every now and then. Hope that elephant can move so you can see that. There we go, it's nursing. Elephants' mammary glands are in between their forelegs, and so they nurse. That's how they nurse. Yeah, it's a pity we can see, it continuing to drink, but this is nature, and sometimes there's nothing we can do. We just have to appreciate what we get sometimes. These are very big females. See their sizes? They are very big. Some of these, maybe they are 3 times the size of my vehicle. I have a Land Rover, a 4-wheel drive, and they're almost 3-4 times the size of my vehicle. So they are huge, huge animals. I don't know if you have any questions for me, because I told you, you can ask me questions through your parents. RHR, what an adorable little one. Thank you very much for appreciating. It's actually very adorable. I wish we could see it more, but it's very skittish. Doesn't know really what to do with everything. Look at that. Oh, cute. Look at that. He's playing with his brother. That could be older cousin. And he's been so nice. Look at that. He's just said, hello. You know me, I'm your cousin. Yes, it's really interested in its cousin. Sometimes the cousins can be bully, very much like us humans. Some of our cousins can be bully, but and some of them can be very nice, like this one. She was very nice to the little guy. Yeah, he still have to be very close to mommy because he wants to really make sure that mummies rolls around, and slowly, once they get older, Ocean, you asked me, is it a male baby elephant, and how can you tell? It is very difficult at this age, I won't lie to you, to tell if it's a male or a female. Unless it's out in the open, I can be able to tell you, but at this stage I cannot be able to tell you if it's a male or female. But thank you very much for your question. Yes, this looks like the oldest granny. Granny usually is the leader of the herd, and she is the one who carries like the whole brain, the whole computer. She is the one that teaches them different things, you know. She looks like she's got socks on. I think she went through a muddy puddle or water, and that is a watermark of how deep the water was. Sometimes they usually have to drink almost every other day, but very good. I'm glad that you're very observative and you picked up that one. I hadn't picked up that they had, they were wearing socks. They look actually like they're wearing socks. So I was telling you that the female is the mastermind. She knows where is safe, where there is water, where there's different types of plants that they need for different times of the year. So she'll always lead them. Yeah, the little one is playing with cousin back there. See that? So cute. Beautiful. Yeah. That one, I would say it's less than a month. It's very small. Look at that. So beautiful. Although it's very small, they are born weighing around 120 kilos, which is around 250 pounds. So they're actually quite very heavy than most of us. And usually it's a big celebration when one is born. You hear the elephants, like the way they're facing each other there. You hear them facing each other. Francis, you say it looks so tiny. Yes, it is tiny, I agree. But I might be wrong, but from my experience, I think it's almost a month. I was telling you, when they give birth, usually there is a lot of trumpeting, a lot of, commotion, a lot of, noise. Yes, while I've continued being here, let me send you to Sydney, who's got a cheeky elephant.
From Isaac's elephants to Sydney's elephant here in the western side of the Greater Kruger National Park, you can see I'm still here together with these beautiful elephants, and they are not worried at all about our presence. They are very much stationary feeding at the moment. You can see they're just raising their ears in order to investigate what is happening, which is normal. Animals, they have got to know about what is happening on their surrounding. So these animals can be able to eat up to 400 kilograms of food a day. That is quite a lot, eh? And they've got to go and drink 150 to 200 liters of water a day. So let's see how that one is going to use the tusk. So they use this tusk in order to debug the trees. You can see that is what that one is trying to do there. So that tusk is a very important tool. You can see now the bark is open, and there we go. Look, now it's taking off that bark. Christine, the animals, they are not really colorblind, but remember, when you are in the car is different, because when I'm remaining seated, it's quite very difficult for an animal in order to judge if I am part of the vehicle or not. But if I start moving is when the animals will be able to detect my presence. Remaining seated is what is saving me a lot. But yes, animals, they are not like completely colorblind. Some of these animals can be able to see few colors, such as blue and gray. So to me, I think it's not fair enough to say animals are colorblind. Rather, let's say the animals, some of them has got poor color vision, whereas the others can see very well. There are those who can be able to see even colors that we cannot see. So you can see that these elephants, look at the ears. The ears looks like an African map. This tells you this is an African elephant. Child of the universe, thank you very much for such a wonderful question. These animals, remember, the bark is part of their diet. It's not like the elephants only eat the leaves or only eat the roots. They have got to eat a combination of both leaves, bark, and the roots every time. It's just that during the dry season, when the trees don't have leaves, they do depend a lot on these barks from the trees as well as the roots from under the ground. These elephants, they do uproot trees in order to get hold of the nutrients during that time. So the bark is part of their diet on daily basis, whether there is too much green or not. So I'm just going to pull forward a little bit and see if we can improve this sighting. So while I'm pulling forward, I've got some good news. Let's go for a surprise. Trish is going to show you something interesting.
Yes, I'm very lucky to have found our first cat. It is in fact the king of the bush, the lion. Now, I'm so excited to bring him to you guys because you don't get to see them often. And here you have one right in front of us, not even 10 meters away. Very close to us. Now, it's a really hot day out here in Juma in South Africa. It's about 29 degrees, which is about 84 degrees Fahrenheit. So it's really hot and I feel a bit overdressed. I should have dressed a lot cooler, but luckily I have my water and that will cool me down. And you see that he has decided to do the same thing. He's decided that he needs a patch of shade to cool himself down, and that's why he's sitting underneath this magic guarri bush, which is that tree just there. Provides him with some nice shade, and most animals don't really eat it, so he knows that he won't be disturbed, or at least he'll mostly won't be disturbed. But every now and then an elephant might come trotting through and he might get a fright and run off. And this is what lions usually do in the middle of the day when the sun is out and it takes too much energy to be running around. Then they lie down in a nice bit of shade. Most lions spend their day like this. Hello, are you opening your eyes to say hello to the Nat Geo kids? Yes, he is. Remember, if you have any questions or comments, you can ask mum or dad or your guardian to send us your questions using the Nat Geo Kids at wildearth.tv and we'll put them through. I'm going to sit with him for a little longer, and in the meantime, let's go back to Sydney and see what he's got for you.
We have got a very interesting game at the moment here. The elephants has just been playing for quite a while now. It's a group of young ones, but one of the big ones just came here and split them. They were just pushing each other and climbing each other and rolling. It was interesting. Maybe they're still going to show us a little bit of some highlights. So you can see there where that one is standing, that the grasses there, the legs were just moving everywhere. The grasses are uprooted. Look, he's trying to dig. What we are seeing there now, this is how the elephants dig water. So elephants, they use their front legs to dig water when water is not very far away from the ground. These animals can be able to smell water underground. And look at that. You can see now that they're still on a playing mood. The small one also is there. Look at that. So this is interesting. Look at that. So when the elephants are playing, sometimes it does look like they're fighting. because they do sometimes push each other from the forehead and try to push each other from the sides. Sometimes they also use their tusks, like what we are seeing now. What is happening to those two? Look, the other ones are also pushing each other from the side. Look, that other one is falling. So the animals here in the bush, they do learn quite a lot of survival skills from just a play. So it does equip the youngsters in order to survive. So you can see that now they are all featuring each other. Each one of them has got its own partner who is playing with at the moment. You can hear the noises from when they're clashing the tusks. So the elephants are so very much powerful. So these animals can weigh up to 5,000 kilograms. And the tusk is so powerful. What I'm going to do now is I'm going to pull forward so that we can see this interesting game which is happening right here in front of us. Oh, look, that one is lying down there now. Apologies for the poles. We do have a roof at the moment as the rain is promising. The possibilities of rain this afternoon, they are very much high. So you can see that one is playing and scratching. This helps these animals to get rid of the parasites when they are scratching against the sand. You can see that they are just by the steep-sided. This is not a flat place. Alex, I didn't copy your question very nicely, but I heard that you were asking if they have got some blood vessels on their ears. If you look at what we are seeing now, when the ears are being... The reason why the elephants got blood vessels on their ears is to be able to cool the body temperature. What we are seeing now with the elephant moving the ears, the blood vessels helps them in order to cool the blood flowing in there. So that is why when it's too hot, elephants keep moving their ears backwards, forward all the time. So these animals don't have sweat glands. For them, in order to control the heat, Rosalind, yes, some of these elephants, they do get hurt because when they're pushing each other, some they do fall from the top, especially if the ground is steep-sided, and sometimes from the tusks as well, and from some of the bushes, especially if they are dry sticks, they do get hurt sometimes. Look at that. This is very serious. These elephants are playing just everywhere. So you can see the other two are also pushing each other there. And this one is going to come down, crawling. So what we are seeing here is the young ones as well as the intermediate stage elephants. So the females as well, sometimes you will see them on the ground. So the thing is, like I said, when the animals are playing, the advantages are very much high that when they're pushing each other and playing on the ground, it helps them to get rid of the parasites as well. So the females as well, you will see them also playing. When they go to the water holes, elephants, they do like to play, specifically the little ones. So you can see some of them, they've got some soil. Look at that one, is now dishing the soil from the ground, throwing the soil up to the body. That soil as well helps these animals in order to cool the body temperature. So, but it's not that hot this afternoon. So these elephants, they are having a relaxing afternoon indeed. Look at that. That one is so very much relaxed. And now that the soil is very wet, is helping them as well, I'm sure. The ground is not that warm like when it's too dry. You can see that one has got some sand on top. Vicky, the elephants, they do eat grass. But let me tell you the reason why they don't eat quite a lot of grass. If you can check, the grasses contains just 4% of proteins, whereas the big trees, specifically the thorn trees and the spine trees, those ones, they do give these elephants above 8% of proteins. So it means the high percentage of the diet on elephant is on trees than grasses. They do eat grasses much lesser than the trees because they are following a lot of energy in order to push this very big body size. You can see now that one is tired. It's now lying down. So what I have seen with the elephants is that elephants don't really like to lie down by the flat places. They like an area where it's steep-sided so that they can easily get up. Because sometimes on the flat ground, it becomes difficult for this big body size to go up. So you can see now we have got two who are just lying down there. Another one is just lying down on the side. Look at that. This is amazing. So the tree that we are seeing there, standing against the elephant, the one which is obstructing the view, that is one of the spine tree. That we call a sickle bush. They like to eat that tree a lot because of a lot of proteins that tree provide them. The one you are seeing right there now, which is just against those elephants. So you can see that it has got some thorns. So because these elephants do eat these kind of trees, sometimes it can be dangerous to us to drive over the elephant dungs. That is a very good question which has got an answer on it. Yes, the animals, the size is different depending on the type of the vegetation on their area of distribution. So the same animals you are seeing here, when going to other places, because of the type of vegetation in the area, the tusks of the elephants, they grow differently, and the body size of the elephants as well, it changes. You can see things are still happening there at the moment, but I can see that they are not playing a lot anymore. They are getting tired at the moment. So this is leading me to go and carry on, see if I can find you the cat. Nikki, I didn't copy your lovely question very nicely. If you can bring that question back to me again. Yeah, it is surprising to see how these very big-bodied animals are moving every day. But in order to manage the energy, they are too clever. They don't spend like all day moving. They do go and eat. Did you hear that? Something was just making noise. That was an elephant trumpeting. So that is one of the ways these animals are communicating. So these animals, like we are seeing now, we have been here for the past few minutes and they are just feeding at the same place. So they do travel long distances, but they minimize and manage the energy by keeping the distances much shorter. The season we are in South Africa at the moment is a rainy season. Rainy season, it means water is everywhere and the food availability is too much. Now, their activities are too restricted because they can drink and have something to eat by every corner. Look at that. This one is coming to respond to the call I've just indicated about. The trumpet was coming from the other side. You can hear now, another trumpet just took place there now. So, but when listening to that voice, is not that very thick. It tells me that it is not one of the old ones. But now, while I'm going to see if I can find you a spotted cat or the cat called Talamba, one of the small leopards, let's go back to Trishal and see how the lions are doing.
Yes, my lion is very lazy compared to the elephants that Sydney has. They are just having the time of their lives, whereas my lion has decided, no, it's nap time. It's definitely nap time. Now you can look at his really big paws there. Can you see them? And you can see that his claws are all hidden away, but you can see the little tufts of hair where his claws ought to be. And that's because he's got what's called protractile claws. That means that he can bring them in and push them out with different muscle contractions whenever he needs to. And that's good because it means that they don't get blunt. They need them to be nice and sharp so they don't get blunt from constantly rubbing against the grass and the road. So you can keep them nice and sharp for when he needs to use them. Now this guy is one of 3 male lions that hang around here in Juma, and they are called the Avoca males. And there are 3 of them, they're 3 brothers, and a group of male lions is called a coalition. And a coalition are the male group, and the pride is a group of females and their offspring. And they're usually in the same area, but they don't always hang out together. And that's why he's here on his own. And that's quite normal for male lions to be there on their own, especially if maybe they've seen another female walking about or anything like that, then they're on their own. Now he was born in 2013, which makes him 2014, 15, 16, 17, 18. He'll be 6 years old this year. Child of the universe. There you Oh, you're watching. How lovely to hear from you. Yes, he seems to be the same injured one that we saw earlier. At first, I wasn't sure because I noticed that I usually see that he's got quite a mohawk going, but today when he was resting down, it wasn't so obvious, excuse me. But then I can see the hole in his head quite clearly. And then if you just go into his mouth there, BK. I've got BK on camera with me today. This one's got like crooked teeth, so if he opens up his mouth just a little bit more, we might be able to tell for sure that he is the lion with the hole in the head. Ah, your one eye is open. Flies are bothering him. So the hole is just there above his left eye, but we can't really see it very well now. It actually seems to be getting a little bigger or a little bit wider. When I looked at it last, you can kind of see it there, but through the grass. So I hope he'll be okay. He still looks, like I said, they're very, very resilient. So I don't think he's going to have too much of a problem. Oh, I really hope he doesn't. You can see he's breathing quite heavily. That's also because he's hot. He's hot and he needs to pant. All the viewers say it's so lovely to have the Avocas. It really is. I love seeing a good male lion and that big, impressive mane. It really is majestic. There's nothing quite like it, to be honest. Sometimes when they walk by the car, sometimes they can be quite close. Then you really get kind of the feeling of how big they are and how impressive the entire stature of them are. See if some flies are bothering him. I'm thankful they're not bothering me at this time. Well, he's going to nap for longer, I am pretty sure. In the meantime, we can go to Isaac, who has some of the taller variety for you.
Yes, from a lazy lion to something very different, we have giraffe for you guys. Look at that. Our tallest animal here in the Masai Mara Plains. And this is the kind of place you always see them, and we have lots and lots of them. This is an animal that is threatened or endangered. The numbers are not very big, but we are lucky here. They have security, so they do very well. We have a very good number of them, and they're very busy browsing. Giraffes are browsers. Just to explain, browsers are those animals that eat leaves. Those animals don't need to drink every day. They can go up to a week or more without drinking because they get lots and lots of moisture from the leaves that they eat. You look at their horns, they are not true horns because they have a skin around them. They're called ossicons. It's a bone, a protrusion of bone, which has got skin, and that is a female. Why? Because it's got those hairy tufts on top of the horns, like a paintbrush. This particular one, we call it the Maasai giraffe. It's found in East and Central Africa. We have about 9 species of giraffes in Africa, but in Kenya we have a few. Over here we have this one called the Maasai giraffe. And one way of telling why it's a Maasai giraffe, it's because of the jigsaw puzzle, or patches, the pattern, and it's got patches all the way down. The others have got either white stockings from the knee down. They have a different pattern, but this particular one is called Maasai, and that is a bull. And why it's a bull, you look at the horns or the ossicons, they are bare on top. So they've been fighting and they've lost all their hairy tufts. And also it's got like another knob growing on its forehead. Yeah, they're very happy grazing around. Yeah. All those standing up giraffes have got the tallest neck. When they have to drink or eat low, they have the shortest neck, and that's why they have to splay their legs to reach the ground, which makes them really, really vulnerable. And that's why actually they don't have to drink every day. Ryan, you asked me if giraffes eat meat. Of course not. They don't eat meat. They eat leaves, a lot of leaves. Animals that eat meat are called carnivores, and they have teeth adapted to cutting meat. Giraffes don't eat meat. So they eat leaves, and as you can tell here, they are very busy eating leaves. If they ate meat, they would eat a lot of meat. They'll eat a lot of meat, which I think they'll finish everything. Yeah, they're very happy eating leaves. As you can tell, he's going around that bush. I think it's very delicious. Could be like eating fries for him, or maybe fish, or maybe spaghetti. So he's moving. Those bushes, sometimes I term them as different restaurants. If this one is not tasty, it will move to the next one and nibble on it. Yes, they're eating the spaghetti of the bush. Yes, it would actually be very interesting to see if they eat real spaghetti, but we'll leave them to continue eating their own diet. Yes, they have quite a good number. Oh, look at this. I have the black-bellied kohans flying right in front of us. That was super, Jeandre. We got that, that was really amazing. Those two are a pair of what we call black-bellied kohans, and they pair for life. They are one of those birds that stick together for the rest of their lives, and they are found in this kind of habitat where there's long grass and plenty of it. They feed on small insects and seeds, which is in abundance in this long grass. Yeah, back to our giraffes. See, they're everywhere. We don't have a problem, finding them. They're everywhere. Yeah, that's another female. Yes, let me send you to Trish while I, continue observing these giraffes down in Juma.
Well, my lion has moved, so maybe he's going to get a little more energetic. No, he's not. It's not the right time of day yet, but he has decided to turn over onto his back. And you know what? Sometimes it's just a more comfortable position. Sometimes it's not as complicated as it has this meaning or this. He's just in a more comfortable position. Although when they are on their backs, it means that they can cool their undersides, where the skin is nice and thin, so they can cool underneath there. He must be feeling very hot, and I'm glad to say that his belly doesn't look very skinny, so maybe he's eaten. Kathleen, I was just speaking about that, and I said that he looks like his tummy is a bit rounder. When he turns around the other way, you'll see exactly what I mean. It's quite round. So hopefully he's had something to eat. And I don't know if he caught anything yesterday, but he definitely looks like he's had something more to eat. There's no remnants around at the moment, and I haven't seen any around the reserve as we were driving through yesterday. I mean this morning either. But maybe he's gotten something small and he's eaten it all. One thing I've noticed in the bush, if a lion kills something and eats it, every little bit of that is taken. The vultures will come along, hyenas will come along, and before you know it, you won't even know that a carcass was there. He looks like he's having a mighty fun time. Just relaxing and having a nap under a tree. Sounds like a great idea. Maybe not in a game reserve like this, otherwise you may come across some dangerous animals. All the viewers say that they wish they could be this relaxed on this Catterday. I love it. Don't we all? Nothing to think about. Maybe just dreaming about chops going around his head. Kelsick would like to know a little bit about the Birmingham boys and whether I think they're going to come back to Juma. I really don't think so, Kelsick. I haven't. Well, firstly, it's no longer their territory, and I think that once they moved down south, it was not really. There must have been a reason they moved. Resources would have been better. Maybe availability of females would have been better. So that there's a reason they've moved on, and I really don't think that they will be back. If they are coming back, or if we do come back, we will probably hear a lot of commotion. You'll hear lots of calls, roars, the Avoca males being very skittish, you'll see. And then, of course, we might see one or two of them roaming around when the Avocas are maybe not in the nearby vicinity. So none of that's really happened yet. So I don't think that they will be around anytime soon. I know everyone kind of feels maybe there'll be a coalition takeover of some sort, but I don't think so. At least not yet. What a wonderful sighting. Always like to be up close and personal with the lions. Some of the Nat Geo viewers are wondering why different coalitions don't actually get along, and that's because they're territorial. Lions are territorial, which means that they take a certain portion of land and then they defend it. And so the males who are part of the coalition will defend it against other males, and then the females, which are the prides, will defend it against other females. And a coalition's kind of territory can include a number of prides, and what that means is that they want exclusive access to the females in that area for mating rights and to the resources in that area. So the minute another coalition comes along, it creates competition, and at all costs they want to avoid competition, which is why they fight and they don't get along. You also get some nomadic lions who have not quite found a coalition yet, and they kind of roam around in the kind of quiet of the bush. Emma suggests everybody should just get along. Yes, well, if everyone gets a nice piece of land, then nobody has to intrude on somebody else's. So I suppose that's one way they can get along. But it would be nice if we all could just fit into the circle of love. This is such an Emma comment. She says if lions all ate cake, they would get along. I think so. Today I saw a picture of a cat eating a cake for its birthday. So if a domestic cat can do it, why can't a lion? It might have to be a meat cake, though. A beef cake! There we go. He needs a beef cake. From beefcakes to spaghetti-eating giraffes, let's go back to Isaac in the Masai Mara.
Yes, welcome back again, and I'm here with giraffe, and that giraffe is moving to another restaurant. Maybe it wants pita this time. Okay, does it taste good, giraffe? Yeah, getting comfortable, so definitely it does taste good. You see what I was telling you? When they have to eat, they have to spread their legs, and the reason is the neck is short, going downwards. So it might look very tall up, but downwards it is very short. And that's why they have to splay their legs. Yes, those are oxpeckers, and they are some birds that love the giraffe because they know the giraffe carries a few ticks here and there, some insects, and so they come and eat the ticks off the giraffe. And also they find warmth, from the giraffe, and they are always welcome, the giraffe. Sometimes they're not very disturbed until they get to the eyes or the ears, then they become very irritating, and the giraffe would shake its head to keep them off. On that note, I would like to share with you one very interesting fact and to tell you just a little bit about it. Today is World Pangolin Day. Pangolin is an animal that is very endangered. They are found almost all over the world. In Africa, we do have quite a lot of them. They are very like a scaly anteater. They have these big scales, and when you touch them, they curl into a ball to protect themselves. And those scales are actually the ones that everybody wants. Some people, they think they are medicinal, and so they kill them for the scaly bits that they have. And it is very wrong. Just to tell you one thing, they are very rare, and I have never seen one. The only one I ever saw was dead, so it doesn't count. They say in my tribe that if you see one, you are added another 7 years into your life. So I'm looking forward to seeing one and maybe 2 or maybe 3. But I don't know, because I've been guiding for a very long time and I don't know if I'll ever see one. So it's a very, very rare animal, and it's a World Pangolin Day. Just read more about this beautiful animal and you'll know, so you can help me spread the word and, you know, protect this beautiful animal. It is World Pangolin Day. Yes, back to our giraffes. Gabriel, you love pangolins. Wonderful. Thank you to hear that somebody actually knows pangolins and love pangolin. Spread the word and let's protect them, because they are highly endangered. The giraffes are rather quite happy here, hearing me talking about pangolin. Looks like that is a very delicious and tasty restaurant. They've been there for quite a while now. They're sharing that little bush. Remember, you know, to ask me more questions on hashtag. It's actually Nacho Kids, Nacho Earth. Sorry, I'll repeat that. It's a Nacho Earth. I've forgotten exactly what it was, but, you know, maybe it'll come back to me. Sorry, remember to ask me this question, you know, through your teachers once more. Actually, it is Nacho Kids at worldearth.tv. You got that? Nacho Kids at worldearth.tv. Ask me questions through that, through your parents, and we are very pleased to answer them and give you more insight to these beautiful animals. Okay, from the giraffes and my pangolin story, let me send you to Sydney for more about the pangolin.
Well, a pangolin day. So the pangolin, normally when you see him, is going to do like, and is going to fold, that's like that. I have seen pangolins a lot, especially by the spring. When the rain is promising to come, it's always the best time. When it's too windy, I know it's the best time to see them. So at one stage, I found the pangolin foraging. I know they eat the ants and termites. I found him around the termite mound. And maybe I've seen pangolin 4 or 5 times. But where I come from Venda in South Africa, which is the northern part of the Limpopo province, one of the 9 provinces in South Africa. There, the pangolin is one of those protected animals. You are not allowed to kill a pangolin at all. And if it happens that a pangolin is spotted, it has to be protected by all means, because any single drop of blood from a pangolin, it means the rain is not going to come in that area for a long period. So we have to make sure that the pangolins, they are safe, as we strongly traditionally believe that when the pangolin release the drop of blood, it means there's no rain. So now let's quickly cross over back to Chris with the lions. Chris.
Yes, the pangolin. Such an amazing creature. I still haven't seen one, and I really can't wait. I think they're just so almost archaic looking. And you know, when they walk around and they lift their hands up, they're just the cutest things. It truly is devastating that they're so trafficked. Hopefully here in Juma we'll see one, so we know that this kind of the population here, I hope, will kind of boom and we can bring them all back. Poor pangolin. I saw a clip, I think it was on SafariLive, that there was a lion playing with this pangolin that had rolled up into a ball. Actually an amazing defensive strategy. Meanwhile, this lion decides, no, it's more like a nap is what he needs. Wonderful, wonderful sight. African bush, African sun, and of course the king of the beasts, right here in front of us. Well, it's that time of the day, and we are going to say goodbye to you, wonderful kids. Thank you for so much for being with us and for your questions and your comments. We'll see you next time on the Nat Geo Kids Show. Thank you again. Good afternoon to all our regular viewers. So happy to have you on board again. We have BK on camera with me, and I have a wonderful Avoca male sitting underneath this quarry bush. I've been sitting with him for a bit, and the sun has started to come out. You know how rainy and cold and horrible it was for the last couple of days. So I'm glad that the sun is out just for a little bit. Even this morning I got soaking wet. Last night I got soaking wet. So today it's a bit sunnier at the moment, and the lions decided that it's time to catch a nap, of course. But that's good for us because the sun's out, it's hotter, and that means, of course, that the lion will stay put. I am Trishala, as you all know, and I've gotten to know really well. I'm so excited that I've gotten to know you guys very well. So use the hashtag SafariLive and the YouTube chat stream to speak to us, and we'd love to hear from you. So this guy, I don't think he's going to be doing too much. Now, we still can't see his belly very well. BK, can you move on down there? When he turned onto his back a little earlier, he did look a little rotund. So I think he's had something small to eat. I know everyone's a bit concerned about him because he doesn't look great, or rather the wound on his head and the slight limp and all of that. So I really hope he gets in a good meal. Maybe tonight is the night, but I think he's taken something small. Does seem to be sleeping very peacefully, though. A lot better than he was yesterday and the day before, when he was sort of just lying about and sadly calling as if, where are my friends, where are my friends? But today he seems a lot more relaxed. He's been restless the last couple of days. It's actually quite disheartening to watch. Well, I am actually going to swap over with Koli in not too long, and then we might leave this lion to lay around a little bit. In the meantime, let's go to Sydney, who's looking for another cat.
I've got some very interesting and beautiful fruits here. I haven't seen them for quite a long time. The last time I saw them, they were still green. They are very nice. They are now ripe, ready, and very nice. So this is what we used to eat when we were looking after the goats and cows in the bush. So I did a lot go out with goats and cows, looking after them, because we used to have them home. And this is what we used to eat a lot. So I will come back again here and and have something to eat again every time. This is going to be my stoppage all the time, because there's something very much nice here. So it's one of those wild fruits. But the birds, if you want to see them a lot, they like to eat this. It's nice and sweet. It's not bad at all. And this is nice. Unfortunately, I couldn't manage to get sense or something in order to have him eat. The thing is, last time I brought him some traditional food from Venda, while we were live, he did throw away my mopani worms and my stink bugs. So I don't want so I don't want to bring him anything anymore. This is very nice and sweet. It's not bad at all. So it means I don't have to worry about breakfast anymore. Out on guided walks, this is what I'm going to eat. So now let's quickly cross over to the Masai Mara where Isaac is just diving.
Yes, good afternoon, everyone. Welcome to the Mara Triangle in the Masai Mara in Kenya, and here we have a family of beautiful African elephants. They have been grazing. They came from one side of the road and crossed over to the other side. That guy, you know, he looks quite jolly, a youngster, about maybe 18 months old. Remember to join me on conversation. Ask me as many questions on this live broadcast coming to you live from Masai Mara on hashtag SafariLive, or you can watch me on YouTube live stream. I am enjoying this. It is one of my first few animals to see today, and that looks like the Mara of that youngster. Yes, good afternoon, everybody. My name is Isaac, and on camera I have G. Andre, and welcome to this live broadcast. It was raining a little bit, but it has cooled down and the sun has come out. It's just perfect, just wonderful. Please join me on this afternoon get drive as we enjoy this beautiful, you know, landscape full of animals spread out all over. Look at that. This is a sea of grass with a few elephants in front of us, and plenty of beautiful balanitis trees. Those are the desert date trees that are dotting the plains there. They make the Mara so beautiful. They are one of the most unique and iconic trees of the Masai Mara. Without them, the Mara won't be called what it is, because in Ma language, which is the Masai language, Brent, you asked me, is a storm coming? It came and it really got me. I had to close up a few times, but I'm surrounded. It might attack me later. I'm surrounded by rain. You can see that is storm. I have another one to the north. You see that? I have another one, you know, everywhere. I'm just surrounded. I'm under attack, and I'm hoping that, you know, the show will end peacefully before it comes. I'm not saying I don't like rain. I love lots of rain. We love lots of rain. But if it can give me some time, if somebody's listening, so that I can share this beautiful afternoon with you. So, Brent, don't you worry. I'm actually quite safe at the moment, but I'm surrounded by storm, as you can see. It is what we are calling the abnormal normal weather, where it's very unpredictable. It can be 1 minute. Oh, look at that. Beautiful. Beautiful. Are you going to stay for us? Are they fighting? Yes. Oh, they're having a scuffle. Yeah, there's internal politics going on there. Those were the blue-eared glossy starlings and superb starlings. Look at that. Wow. Good job, Jandre. Yeah. That's the blue-eared glossy starling. It's one of the few birds that we find in the Masai Mara. That was quick one. You know, the larger one that was blue was the blue-eared glossy starling, and then the other one was the superb starling. And maybe they were fighting over an insect, or maybe the area, maybe a nesting site, maybe on that tree to the left over there. It's a beautiful Boskia coriacea, and maybe it's got some holes. They sometimes nest on hollow trees. As you can see, there is one all the way to the top. They're flying back again here. I think they're going. Yeah, thank you very much. It is for the abnormal normal weather. Yeah, look at that. That is the blue-eared glossy starling. Yeah, it is very difficult to shoot these beautiful birds on flight. I hope we can, you know, patch somewhere so we can share, you know, him with you, because they have very beautiful colors. There he is. I don't know if we'll be able to get closer. Yeah, that's the closest we can get to you. It's quite a distance. Yeah, there's actually one right here, Jandre, if you can see this one. Yeah, that one is gone. Yeah, here he is. Well, look at that. Look at that. Yeah, that's a blue-eared glossy starling. Yeah, it's quite a pretty one. Yeah. Yes, yes. It's one of the few starlings we get in the Mara. And then the other one that you can see flying there are wire-tailed swallows. These ones flying over here. They're usually quite happy. Just after a little bit of rain, you'll see them flying quite low. I had striped swallows, wire-tailed swallows. They're flying all over the road here. You see them? Very low. Look at that. Look at that. They're doing some aerial acrobatics. Yeah, I don't know exactly what they're enjoying, but looks like they're having lots and lots of fun. Look at that. Yeah. Yeah, it's very hard to follow them, and you can agree with me, you know, it's such a sensitive and big camera to follow such a small bird that's flying, you know, like a fighter jet. So it's quite difficult, but it's all very beautiful here. I think they, you know, they can sense the storm and they're enjoying it. Some birds, they say that traditionally, they know when the rain is coming, they know that there's going to be plenty of grass, and so they normally enjoy themselves. Some of these, you know, swallows actually never perch. They only perch in their nests, so they collect their building materials. Yes, I'm going to tell you more about the swallows. Let me tend you to Holly down in Duma, who's got some lines for you guys.
Good afternoon once more. We've swapped seats with Trishala, still with Avoca Mel, who's seemed to be up and about. He's licking himself there. Can see he's alone. I think he didn't keep up with the mating part. I think he's a little bit weak. My name is Oli, and joining us behind the camera is still BK. So, welcome, BK, and thank you, Trishala. Let's go to our lion here. So, this guy, he's not far away from the Pride, which the Pride is on the southern side, and he's on the western side. So it's getting much hotter now. He will be here for quite some time. Trishala was talking about his stomach. It seems like he ate something, not that much, but there was something there. James, you want to know that is he done mating? I'm not quite sure whether he's done mating. If it's the 5th or 7th day, he might be not mating after this, but if it's just 2-3 days, it simply means he didn't keep up with the mating part, because you know, the weaker you get, the more other males gets their chance. Remember, we have 3 guys in this coalition. So I think the female, if he's not here, if she's not here, she's with the other male. Remember, they are opportunists, and the females, they are so clever because they have to try and mate with all these members of this coalition to confuse them that all the cubs are theirs. Remember, if a male lion doesn't want to raise a foreign kid, if I can say that, or the cub that is not his, he didn't look so hungry. And talking about the stomach, I've mentioned this earlier on about the impala's digestive system. This is a cat with a different digestive system, which is a single compartment system. I can say that. It consists of the esophagus. It goes to the stomach, and then we have the small intestines, and then it goes to the large intestines. So what happens is, if it eats, maybe let's say for instance a piece of meat, it will chew it and then it will digest it through the esophagus, and then esophagus straight to the stomach. and the stomach will digest the food with the stomach acids. And then from the stomach, there's small intestines that is broken down into 3 departments, if I can put it that way. We have the duodenum, we have the jejunum, and we have ileum. Duodenum is the first part that you see from the stomach, and then the jejunum is the middle part between the ileum and the duodenum. Then we go to the large intestine, where we find the thing called a rectum, and the rectum, the function is to hold the feces temporarily. So, and then that part takes the feces to the anus. Oh, here he goes. It's going to be a little bit of stretching happening here. Now, after a long nap, you have to limp a little bit, and you have to stretch yourself before that. So I think he's going to look for another shade, but there's no good shade where he's heading. Maybe he's going to defecate or pee there. Let's see what he's up to. JC, you want to know that did he get any injuries from a fight, or maybe he's sick? For now, I can say he's limping so badly because he was sleeping, I can say, the whole day. So remember, when these guys, they sleep, they use mostly one side, and then they will turn to the other side after a long period of time. So that will lead these guys to have the stiff muscles. So stiffing muscles, it will lead to limping, and limping we have to start by just limp and limp and limp, and then you have to stretch yourself thoroughly so that your muscles can get back to normal. So let's take it. Oh, he's down. Let's get a nice view. And he also has injuries. Remember, he has a hole on his head. We don't know what caused that, but due to that size of the injury, of that wound, we think it's a canine that penetrated through there. You know, lions, they live this vicious and dangerous life, I can say. They have to protect their territory, they have to protect their females, and they have to fight for that. So while I'm still getting a nice view, let's go to Sydney, who's looking for something else.
Now around the Twins Dam area now to see if I can find something interesting for you. As I've just been updated, there were some fresh tracks around the Treehouse Dam. I've been there and I can't manage to see those fresh tracks in that area. So now I am down just around the Twins Dam. I'll be heading back to Treehouse. Maybe in between these dams, I might be lucky. But at the moment, I have got some impalas right here by the water hole. It's good sometimes to watch the impalas because I know very well impalas are part of the preferable diet when it comes to those cats I am looking for, the leopards. So you can see that one of those impalas is just now looking at that side. Look at the black tips behind the ears and the stripes at the back, and also the black, which is like socks, at the bottom of their hind legs. Those black hairs on the bottom of the hind legs, it is called the metatarsal gland. These animals can be able to communicate below their predator's hearing. You can just now spray a perfume from the hind legs, which can now serve as a communication signal to the other ones who will pick it up and run away from danger. That is a very good equipment. These animals are well gifted. So you can see another one is there now. So they don't want to drink. I don't know if maybe they are sensing something. So that is why I don't mind looking at these animals, because sometimes they can guide me to see what is coming. You can see that one is trying to get rid of some parasite there, is trying to clean itself. So by January, February, if it's when impalas are preparing, they must be eating a lot now, because come May season is going to be the rutting season. Rutting season is associated with noises such as that is the noise which is oh, look at that one is looking at me, so maybe is thinking I'm a counterpart. So you can see that he's convinced that this one who is making that noise nearby is very much strong. You. So this is part of the bachelor head. The bachelor head, maybe they will organize themselves to chase me. Monique, their markings are so very much beautiful. Look at those 3 stripes at the back. And you look, as I indicated, all these black tips and the colors. If you look at the impala, the body size, the side of their bodies, they've got dark brown. You can see that patch on top. And you see the light brown on the side and the bright white on the stomach. This breaks the impala into 3-dimensional forms. When there is a predator, it's not easy for a predator to single one out. Oh, let's look at that. That one looks injured. You can see there, right on the side of the body that is open. Maybe this one escaped danger. So you can see this animal is so there, and now must be very much irritated when it comes to the flies, because flies, they do irritate this. That's why maybe it's moving all the time and shaking the ears and the tails, because now that wound is becoming an attraction of some of the flies to come there. So, but hopefully this impala is going to recover. I don't think that is a very bad injury. So you can see these impalas are not pretty relaxed. Maybe there is something, or there has been something here in the area. So I'm just trying to check here, also on the side of the eye, just to see if that is just the normal marking or there is some injuries there. So the horns are so beautiful. You can see the spirals on the horns there. So it doesn't look like it's two. It looks like it's just one horn, because the other one is obstructing the other. So I'm just going to try and go much closer and see if we can be able to see what exactly has happened there. So, but now let's go and see the other antelopes of the Masai Mara.
Yes, from impala to another different antelope, we have the beautiful, the fastest topi, T-O-P-I. And in this corner of the triangle, when I say the triangle, I mean the area we are in. It's called the Mara Triangle. And if you look at the map of Mara Game Reserve, you will see where the river runs in between 2 sections of the Mara Game Reserve. There is a triangle to the left-hand side, on the western side of the map, and this is where we are. It's called the triangle. So when you hear me calling the triangle, don't be confused and thinking I'm talking about a triangle. It's an area called the Mara Triangle in the Masai Mara, and this is where we find these beautiful topi antelopes. In this area in particular, there is plenty of them. Over in this herd, I would say it is about maybe 100, 120. J. Andre will be sharing with you all of them. There are actually a good number of them. You know, they spread out all over to the left, quite a long way. They have these interesting patches on their flanks. They are born without them. Yes, you say they are most interesting looking antelope. It is an interesting looking antelope, born without the patches, but later on in the year, about 6 months, they start getting the blotches. Some people say that they are wearing blue jeans. I don't know where they see the jeans. I say it's just some patches. This is a very, very fast antelope in these plains. They are the fastest, so you rarely get in to see them being eaten by any carnivores or predators. And this is a very beautiful setting where they are. If I was an antelope, I would choose this spot because the grass is much shorter and I can see 360 and have beautiful, beautiful views all over me. So anything approaching me, I would be able to see it. So they have chosen a perfect spot. Remember, the topi that you see here is, oh, look at that. Could you go back a little bit, Jandre, and zoom into that big male over there? Look at that. Yeah, that is a male doing his rounds, you know, checking the females that are in season. Yeah. He has that interesting gait and posture that he does and portrays when he's, you know, looking for a female in season. I don't know if he's going to continue doing that. And now I think he's going to have a little bit of a picnic and then continue on. I was talking about, where was I? I don't know exactly where was I. Yeah, there it's another one. When it's rutting, they'll form a little gathering called a lek, where, you know, males will battle for supremacy, and whoever, you know, becomes the victor will actually mate with most females. Did you see that one that went really fast across there? That's how fast the tortoise can be. Yeah, and this male is still continuing on doing exactly what he was doing. Yeah. Yeah, I don't know who he's gonna go to. Okay, while I leave this guy to do his rounds, let me send you to Duma, where Sydney has got an injured impala. I hope it's going to be well.
So I managed to come closer to the injured impala just to confirm that, yes, indeed, this impala is injured. I can see the wound now nice and close, and this impala is not settled. I can see that the flies are irritating him quite a lot. So now, if you look at this impala, right here by the neck, come February, January to March, you will see this side of the neck looking very thick. That is due to the testosterone. The testosterone level makes them grow the neck big so that they can prepare themselves for competition when it comes to the rutting season. So the impalas that we saw belongs to a group which is called a bachelor head. A bachelor head, it consists of the big males, yes, but you will also find the little ones which are not yet ready for mating purposes. So these impalas, some of them might be able to have the mate and some are not going to. Those who are not going to, they will tend to form their own bachelor head where they are going to comfort each other and stay together for the whole season. But sometimes you'll see them keep going, trying to single out the females. So, but by looking at the condition of this impala, I can tell that, yes, he's got the injury, but the body condition is still looking very good. Gabriel, thank you very much for the question. When looking at this injury, I can see that it doesn't look very fresh. It is looking old. Maybe now is slowly going through the natural healing process. As here we are managing a natural system, and when animals are injured, such as these impalas, we don't intervene at all. Remember, when the impala is dying, suddenly it's going to become food for either the leopard or the hyenas, including the lions. They do as well eat some of the dead animals. So that is how nature works. So you can see these animals are so very much observant. When they're looking at a direction, the ears are moving all the time. And how they're standing, each one of them is looking at its own direction. And I'm sure this helps them in order to have a wide vision so that they can be able to see if predators are not stalking them from behind. So you can see now he's looking at us. Safari, the impalas are some of those animals who has to be very lucky in order to survive much longer in the wild. If you can check from when the impalas are still young, the protection is there, but it's not very there. Because the cats such as Kalamba, when they're growing, for them to start hunting, normally their mothers will then teach them how to hunt, make use of these baby impalas. And the adult impalas will be taken by those adult leopard. So the impalas, they can be able to survive long in the world, but not that very long when it comes to the predation activities conducted by the big cats in the wild. So you can see that the food is too much. Look at that stomach. It looks very much big. So these impalas, they has been foraging, it means, since this morning. So now, let's quickly go to Toli. Toli is still having the lions. I know lions, especially the males, when they're not part of the prize, they also do take a chance and take down this kind of lovely animals.
Sure, that impala won't come this side because this injured guy here will have an opportunity to kill it. So it must go far away from this place. So we have something interesting here on the left, PK. It's calling, it's calling, it's calling. On the left. Oh, it's gone. It's gone. We had a little bee eater. Nice, beautiful looking bird. This avoca male looking at right now, for it to survive his injuries, he has to stick around the pride with the females, or else no one will fend for him. Because you know the male coalition, everyone for himself. No male will hunt for him. He will only have to go to the females. You know, the females, they hunt, and then if there's a male around, the male start feeding before the females. So that I think that's what he is thinking to do right now. He's fast asleep now. Sinek, oh no, you love a bee eater. I also love a bee eater, but they are not far from here. But the problem is they are flying. They are not still. They're not still. Let's listen to that. Did you hear that thunder? And if we can go right to the horizon, BK, you see the nice looking clouds there. Sorry about the pole there. We have to keep ourselves dry. No, we don't have any waterproof equipment here with us, so we have to make sure the tent or the canvas is protecting our stuff here. Look at that. This is magic, right? Yes. Beautiful, Emma's saying, FC. Beautiful, beautiful. Yes, indeed, it is beautiful. Let me take my binoculars and see whether I will find that bee eater there. Maureen wants to know how far this avoca lonely male from his pride, from the pride. The pride is on the south side and he's on the west side. Because the road you can see there's a road ahead here. This road leads that place where the females are. I think if you can walk, it will take you about 5 minutes, and if you can drive, it will take you about a minute or less than that. It depends the speed you're going to be driving or walking. If you can run, maybe it can take you around 2.5 minutes. You can hear the sound. We are joined by a car. After it's switched off, I would like to listen to the surrounding because we have a lot happening right now. Yes, while I wait and listen to my beautiful calls, let's go to Isaac. He has a beautiful thing to show you.
No. Kay, welcome back. And I have Topi here. And this is a male. And he was announcing his presence by, spear, or actually goring a little termite mound. I don't know if the next one is going to do that. He did do that, the first one. I don't know if this guy is going to do it. Yeah, the second guy there to the right. See that? That is announcing his dominance and threat display, showing off to the other males, telling them I'm the, Manu Pacquiao of the area, so be careful. But he didn't do as much. I think he went to the gym this morning, so he doesn't need to do and perform for us. This is up close, the closest you can get to these beautiful antelopes. We are quite close, and look at them, how healthy they are. Are you gonna go back and do something for us? No. Yeah, you're skittish. What is wrong? Yeah, this is the beautiful Topi. Excuse me, but I'm trying to speak as low as possible so I don't spook him. He's not very far from me. I'm hoping he's gonna come back and bat that mound. It's typical of males when they're announcing their presence and also showing off to other males, and also those play fights determine how strong they are, and they can warn off intruders, and so to avoid fights they do that. Len, you asked me what sounds do a Topi make. Actually, it's one of those few animals that I cannot make it sound, but does make the threat call sounds like somebody sneezing, something like that, something like that. I don't think it was the most perfect alarm call of a Topi, because it would have turned around and try to concentrate, but it wasn't the most perfect. Yeah, so I can't make its call. It's one of those few animals that actually I cannot imitate their call. So I won't try, because I might fail totally. I might try, tell maybe one of my fellow guides to try and make it for you. The calls, maybe Tolly or Trish or maybe David might try. They might be better at that. But where I am, we also have, the more, Topis over to the left here, and I don't know if they're gonna spar. That one to the left looks like he's ready. He's telling the guy to the right, come on, are you ready? I can take you on. I have no issues. Yeah. Yeah, I think his testosterons are very high, the one to the left. You can tell he's goring the ground. Those are threat displays. Yeah, even the scratching of the ground. I'm sure some of you have seen those kind of display. This is what happens when there's too much food, there's too much grass. These animals eat too much, and then they get this, urge to mate, and before mating, they'll have to find out who's the strongest. Actually, I've just spotted something from where I am. So from the topi, we'll take you to a hyena that's about to my right, off to my right over there. He's walking casually. This is the most common, the most widespread hyena in Africa, called the spotted hyena. This female here looks like, he doesn't have that many spots, and he's walking casually. Remember, this is a very smart carnivore. They sometimes will pretend to walk like that. Yes, they will walk like this, pretending like, they have nothing, they don't mean to do no harm. And then all of a sudden, they'll jump onto the closest animal and, grab onto it. And from there on, the animal will try to struggle, but they won't let go, and eventually they will kill it. This one looks like it's going for Mikey. You asked me how a topi is able to stay away from predators in the open plains like this. Actually, it is the most safe place to be as an antelope, because you can see everywhere, short grass and enough distances to see. It is the safest place to stay, Mikey, unlike being in the long grass and bushes. So they're quite safe here in the long grass. Even this guy has to work really hard to get anything in these open plains. The big advantage about this beautiful predator is that they have endurance. So once they decide that they want to go to topi restaurant or Impala restaurant, they'll put on their Nikes and then chase their prey down. They usually tie it down. They will chase it until it's tired. Sorry, we never forgot about you. That is a female Impala. She is very alert, and I'm sure you could see why. That Impala is a threat, and she has to be very careful. They have amazing eyesight, though. They are rarely eaten by hyenas. Their biggest threat is mainly leopard and cheetah. Remember to join me on this live broadcast on #SafariLive. This is coming to you live and direct from the beautiful Mara Triangle in the Masai Mara in Kenya, in Africa. And it is a perfect setting for the evening. The forest you see down there, yes, that's a beautiful forest of the Mara River. Let me send you to Greater Kruger, where Nkoli, I still have to learn how to pronounce that name, Nkoli in Kruger.
We are still with the line, but the camera is facing on the other side because we have this beautiful animation of hunting. Remember, the rains now probably will have more.
Okay, yeah, that's the beautiful view of the Mara, and these two guys were just about to go on to it. Yeah, that is typical of what they do. They go down like that, rub heads. It's like to say, come on, are you man enough? Yeah. Okay, let me go to the bathroom first, then we can go. Maybe he's chickening out. Oh, you are seeing that hyena. I don't blame you. There's a hyena behind him. Yeah, there it is. I'm very close to one of our favorite characters in SafariLive, the North Clan, Waffles Clan, and this is where all these hyenas are coming from. And I think they're heading out. There is another one that just left. You see him? Yeah, he's just behind that one. He just came out. So, they're actually coming out. I don't know where they're going. But looks, maybe they have a plan, they have a strategy of what they are going to be doing this evening. Yeah. They're walking casually like, you would walk comfortably after having a good week. And on Saturday, you want to go out and have some nice dinner. Yeah. Maybe they're having sushi tonight. I don't know. Change their diet. He looks a little bit worn out, this guy. Very tattered ears. Remember, this is an animal that is dangerous to man. Although it might look like it will run away, if you break that safety distance, a kind of hyena will come for you. There has been stories in Africa where they have attacked, people, and especially young ones. So it's an animal that you should avoid by all means. I have lots of respect for this beautiful carnivore, and the reason is it is the only animal that I have seen that can challenge the lion. Nobody else challenges the lion in these plains apart from the hyena. So I have, lots and lots of respect for this, carnivore. Can you imagine, an animal that can challenge a lion? There's nobody else. It's just the hyena. It's something that we sometimes forget, and we think that they're scroungy, dirty, mean, but they are actually, very determined when they decide to. They do take kills of lions. And so I have, lots and lots of respect. That is the other side of the Mara, looking, where? West. Kathy, you ask if Topi will chase off a hyena. Yes, they would. They will, if they're going for a young one. But hyenas are very stubborn. Most of the time, the Topis don't succeed. They end up being a meal. So they do sometimes succeed. But the hyenas, when they're hungry and determined, they will kill the Topis as food. So, you saw that Topi, how careful it was. They have to be very careful. What they do is, when they see a good number of the hyenas, they'll try and leave them and leave that area to avoid any, threat or any chance of the hyena deciding to go for them. Like this guy, he has decided to have a bit of a picnic while he's chewing and then heading out of this area. He's still looking to the right and making sure that he's got a visual of the hyenas. Otherwise, he might become dinner. So he's headed towards another open plain further down. Remember, this is the Topi, a very beautiful antelope found in northern Serengeti in parts of Kenya. Not very widespread. We have another one very similar to this called the Tsitsibi, and it's found in southern Africa. I think the difference, it's only the horns. Here in East Africa, we have this one called the Topi, a very fast antelope, rarely hunted because of its speed. It's got very good eyesight, very good hearing, and yes, while I stake out this Topi, let me send it to Sydney. I hope he's got something nice for you guys.
I am now heading much more towards the one. Back to the area where Kalamba was spotted this morning, just to go and try my luck again to see if we cannot be lucky with her. As I just one of those cats I am missing a lot. So I went to the tree house there. So according to the previous updates, I have received that there were fresh tracks of a big cat. I couldn't manage to see that big cat. So now let's go back to Toli and hear how the lions are behaving this afternoon.
I'm sure we're going to have more rain this week and probably the rest of next week. Just looking at these clouds, you know, the weather, climate can change just like that. Still have our lions. The bee eaters were hunting, but we lost them because of the hunting grounds. Still asleep in a different position now. And he was shaking, like we thought he had some shock or something. He was like shaking, and then we thought maybe he was dreaming. So I don't know whether lions can dream or animals can have dreams. Most probably he's dreaming about meat. In the car that was here earlier on, we got the message from him that the females, they've killed something like a buffalo. And Pete, this guy, can't smell that and can't see that. He must just stand up and move to the females. That will help him and his health. Can you hear that? His injury there, his head. I can't really tell whether it's getting better or not, because now it's not. It doesn't look any. It doesn't look. It's confusing to me because I can't tell whether it's getting healed or not, because it's closed by, it's covered by this dead blood. I'm sure it will get there. He just need to eat properly, and then his immune system will be good. Then I'm not sure whether he's going to hunt for himself now when he's alone because of his injuries. And we saw he was so skinny. Sure, he can go for rodents or birds or something, because, you know, nomadic lions or lions that are injured, they tend to go for things that they are not bigger than them. Niconico, its ears. Yes, the ears are looking good. They're matching with the mane, because the mane has a blonde part and has this dark color. So for now, I don't know whether he's going to hunt or not, but let's wait and see. Maybe that injured impala will come this side and show us some action. How many days can a lion go without eating? It can go for about a week, because it also depends. It also depends whether how big is the kill or how small is the kill. Because if this guy, big guy like this, he can. Sorry about that. It can weigh up to 210 kilograms, and that simply means it can eat about 20% of its body weight. So it will need about 40 to 50 kgs of food. Then it won't last for a couple of days or for a week. Oh, here he goes now. He had something, maybe smelled something. So lions, if this one guy can go for let's say, for instance, an impala. That impala can last him a week in his belly. I think he's suspecting something. So let's go to Isaac and see what this guy is looking at in the meantime.
Well, welcome back once more. I have moved closer to Waffles, the queen of the North Clan hyenas. She is not home, but she is presented by her offsprings. They are spread out everywhere from where we were earlier. Those members that I shared with you not long ago were all part of this clan, and I think they have gone hunting. Always there is one that is left behind to be the babysitter. I don't know who it is here, because I do see, like, 3 or 4 of them. I'm hoping to see if there's some puppies, because in this den I haven't visited it for quite a while. Yeah, that is one of the babysitters. Yeah, I'm actually quite happy with our hyenas here in the Mara. They are much, much cleaner. I've seen some very dirty hyenas, but over here they've been very clean. I think there's something to do with that. Maybe it's part of the research that should be done, why the hyenas of the Mara are also, much cleaner, and they are much furrier. Yeah. Yes. It's wandering, taking a stroll, same as the others. Yeah, yes, I'm talking of where you're going. Are you going to continue with your journey? Yes, I didn't interrupt it. Remember to engage me, please. This is live. This is happening right here in the Masai Mara, and it's almost dark. So these hyenas are heading out to the plains, maybe to look what restaurants they're gonna go for, this evening. There is a youngster over there, and he has decided to be on guard. I don't know what he's listening to. He's gonna go and say hi to the vehicle. That is the hyena research vehicle. They have all the powers to be as close as possible to the vehicle, and I'm sure these hyenas know the vehicle. So they are used to the little Suzuki. I think they see it always. Nora, you say it's great to see hyenas. Thank you very much. Always wonderful to, hear such comments. Thank you very much, and also to appreciate this African, very iconic predator. They are not under any threat, the hyenas, and I think they are not going to be in any threat anytime soon, because they know how to survive, and they are in competition, like they are on a tag with the lions for habitat and also food. So they are doing very well. David, you asked me if Waffles has been overthrown. I'm not sure. We just found this den actually not long ago. She has moved it quite a few times, and I think in the last rainy season the den got water, so she had to move a few times. And so I have seen her actually once. I haven't seen her again, and I don't think she has been overthrown. So she's still very much in charge of this, North Clan. I'm hoping that we might get to see her anytime, maybe today, maybe tomorrow. It's gonna be joy to see her again. But I'm sure she's around. It looks like it's a very active den, this one. And I think there might be some youngsters, because that little guy has been looking and listening, towards that den. So, I don't know, maybe there is something over there, or maybe some very young ones. Yes. Well, I know it's been a very short afternoon for all of you, but, it's been great showing you the lions, the elephants, the giraffes. On behalf of my fellow colleagues, David, Trish, and my cameraman, Andre, from me, all I can say right now is bye-bye and see you tomorrow afternoon.